right, AI evolution tech fans, get ready because today, you might just be witnessing history in the making. What if I told you there's a new form of intelligence that doesn't just use algorithms, it invents them? And what if I told you this AI is already discovering solutions that have stumped the smartest humans for decades? On AI Evolution Tech, we dive deep into the cutting edge of AI, machine learning, and LLMs. And today, we're talking about something truly wild that just came out of Google DeepMind, AlphaEvolve. Now, you've seen AI generate code before, right? Maybe patching a small function or helping with autocomplete. That's cool, but AlphaEvolve is on an entirely different level. This isn't just generating code, it's an evolutionary coding agent that literally grows algorithms and computer code from what feels like nothing. It's already embedded in systems like Borg, which is Google's massive data center scheduling platform that even inspired Kubernetes. Just from one of AlphaEvolve's algorithms optimizing Borg, Google has managed to recover an average of 0.7% of their global compute resources constantly. Now, 0.7% might sound tiny, but at Google's scale, that is enormous. We're talking millions of dollars in efficiency gains. So how does it do this insane stuff? Well, AlphaEvolve is basically an AI system combining the power of Google's Gemini language models with an evolutionary system. Think of it like survival of the fittest, but for code. Here's the breakdown. 1. It starts with a prompt describing the problem you want to solve. 2. It uses Gemini Flash, which is super fast and lightweight, to generate a huge number of potential solutions. We're talking hundreds, sometimes thousands, or even up to 16,000 candidates for a single problem. It's like a lightning-fast brainstorm. 3. Here's the key part. These candidates are automatically evaluated. AlphaEvolve doesn't rely on humans to check the code. It uses automated systems to look at things like execution time, memory usage, correctness, and if it actually solves the problem based on objective metrics you defined. 4. The weak ones get tossed, and the promising ones get refined. AlphaEvolve takes the best performing candidates, maybe the top 1%, and uses them as parents for the next generation. 5. It feeds these back into the system, and Gemini Flash generates new variations based on the successful ones. This loop runs again and again, testing, scoring, and evolving. It can go through dozens or even hundreds of generations. 6. If things get stuck or stagnate, AlphaEvolve can even use the more powerful, smarter Gemini Pro. Think of Pro as the specialist that comes in when Flash is out of ideas, adding totally new strategies. Think about being the equivalent to Pulp Fiction Winston Wolfe, better known as the Wolf, his expertise cleaning the mess. This entire process happens in a closed feedback loop with automatic evaluation. That's why it works so well on problems with clear, measurable results, like mathematical accuracy or performance benchmarks. Now, let's talk about the results, because this is where things get truly insane. AlphaEvolve was given 50 open problems in mathematics, geometry, combinatorics, and more. In 75% of the cases, it was able to rediscover the best solution the smartest humans had come up with so far. That's already incredible, but get this. In 20% of the cases, it actually improved upon previous solutions. One of the most talked about breakthroughs is in an area of math that's been around forever: matrix multiplication. Specifically, multiplying 4x4 complex matrices. Back in 1969, mathematician Volker Strassen came up with an algorithm that required 49 scalar multiplications. For 56 years, no one was able to come up with anything better. It was a mathematical wall that stood for over half a century, but then came AlphaEvolve, and it found a new way to do it using only 48 scalar multiplications. That's the first time Strassen's record has ever been beaten for complex-valued 4x4 matrices. They say it's almost impossible to improve this area by even just a tiny bit, maybe 1%. And after 56 years, it wasn't a human who did it. It was an AI technique. Wow, that is remarkable. Why is this a big deal? Matrix multiplication is fundamental. It's used in everything from computer graphics to the very machine learning models we talk about on this channel. It's done trillions of times a day. So any improvement, no matter how small, ripples across countless systems. But it didn't stop there. AlphaEvolve also improved circuit designs for chips meant to run these AI techniques. It found a better configuration for an arithmetic circuit used in Google's custom tensor processing units, TPUs, removing unnecessary bits from a hardware design that was already highly optimized. The proposed change passed verification and is now part of an upcoming TPU design. Think about that. An AI is suggesting changes to hardware-level code, written in Verilog, the actual language chip designers use. We are seeing AI and human engineers collaborating on the same technical level, and this gets even more wild. AlphaEvolve optimized a key kernel used in training the very Gemini models. Underpinning AlphaEvolve itself, specifically a matrix multiplication operation. That one change resulted in a 23% speed-up in that operation. And because it's part of the core training pipeline for these massive models, the overall training time dropped by 1%. 1% might not sound like much, but when you're training these models across huge clusters for days or weeks, that's huge. That's time, money, and energy saved. Yes, you heard it correctly. AlphaEvolve is able to create a better piece of hardware that it runs on, and it improves its own code. That sounds absolutely insane. This capability ties directly into DeepMind's bigger vision. They've given us AlphaGo, which mastered Go at a superhuman level. AlphaStar conquered StarCraft. But these were experiments. The goal is to create generally intelligent AI techniques that can learn and do so much more. And AlphaEvolve is finally one of these. It learns something incredibly general, computer coding. And since computer code underpins almost everything we do, the possibilities are staggering. DeepMind's CEO, Sir Demis Hassabis, keeps saying that step number 1 is solving intelligence. And step number 2 is using this intelligence to solve everything else. He's talked about curing all disease with the help of AI, maybe within the next decade. Now, that sounds absolutely crazy, right? But this isn't just some random guy saying this. This is coming from a person who just won a Nobel Prize in chemistry with his AI technique. Before AlphaEvolve, you might have thought that curing all disease with AI in a decade was impossible. But with AlphaEvolve demonstrating this ability to discover fundamental improvements in algorithms and even hardware, the perspective changes. This isn't just generating code, it's discovering brand new algorithms that outperform decades-old human solutions. So yes, with this kind of power, AI could potentially design better hardware for itself. And perhaps, just perhaps, the next version of AlphaEvolve will be written by AlphaEvolve itself. We are in for a crazy AI ride where these methods will start to improve things we thought were impossible to improve. Of course, there are limitations right now. AlphaEvolve can only work on problems where the results can be judged objectively and evaluated automatically. It's not great for subjective tasks like interpreting complex lab experiment results or, writing creative fiction. And while it finds groundbreaking solutions, it doesn't always provide the theoretical insight into how it got there. So, understanding the why behind a solution might still require human analysis. But the practical impact is undeniable. It's reshaping how algorithm discovery happens. Instead of handcrafting solutions, researchers can now work with AI collaborators that bring a totally different kind of creativity. A tireless, iterative, exhaustive exploration that humans simply cannot match. Google says they are planning to expand AlphaEvolve into fields like material science, sustainability, and even drug discovery. Anywhere that involves algorithmic complexity and measurable results is on the table. They are developing a user interface and planning an early access program for academic researchers. Essentially, as language models evolve, AlphaEvolve grows stronger with them. What we're already seeing is just the beginning. If this is where AI coding agents are now, the next couple of years are going to be very, very interesting. What happens when the smartest algorithms on the planet are no longer written by humans, but by machines evolving in silence? Let me know what you think about AlphaEvolve down in the comments below. This is a huge step for AI and the implications are vast. Yeah, if you want to stay ahead of the curve on all these mind-blowing developments in AI, machine learning, and LLMs, make sure you smash that like button and subscribe to AI Evolution Tech right now. Also, click on the next video on the top to learn more exciting developments in AI. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.